Her ex-husband's hands were visibly trembling now. He had always controlled the narrative, made people believe he was the perfect father, the perfect husband. But now, the truth was starting to unravel, and it was clear he didn't know how to stop it. His lawyer whispered urgently in his ear, but he barely responded. His face was pale, his usual confidence slipping away with every passing second. The girl, oblivious to the chaos around her, took a deep breath. He told me not to tell anyone, but I couldn't keep it a secret anymore. Her voice was steady, but the weight of her words was crushing. It was as if the entire room was holding its breath, afraid to say the wrong thing. The judge, clearly shaken, asked, "What exactly did you see, sweetheart? Please tell us everything you remember." The girl hesitated for a moment before speaking again, her voice quiet but firm. "I saw him hurt Mommy. He made her cry, and he told me not to say anything because he'd get mad. But I can't let him lie anymore." She paused, looking at her father with a mix of fear and defiance. "You told me it was a secret, but now I know it wasn't." Her words hung in the air, echoing off the walls. The father's face grew pale. His lips pressed tightly together as if he were trying to hold something back. His eyes flickered nervously to the lawyer, but the lawyer's calm demeanor did nothing to ease the situation. His voice was strained as he stood to his feet. "Your Honor, I believe my client's daughter is mistaken. She's only a child, and children often get confused." But the girl wasn't backing down. "I'm not confused. I saw it with my own eyes." The room erupted in hushed murmurs, everyone trying to piece together what was really happening behind the scenes. The mother, eyes filled with tears, stood up suddenly, her voice breaking. "Enough. It's the truth. I've been too afraid to say it, but I can't hide it any longer." The father's expression twisted into something darker, and for the first time, the audience saw a glimpse of the man behind the carefully crafted mask. The energy in the courtroom shifted. He was no longer in control, and it was clear that everyone was waiting for him to react. Would he lash out? Would he confess? Or would he try to silence them all? The air was thick with anticipation, and it seemed as though the walls of the courtroom were closing in on him. The next few moments would determine everything. As the tension in the room reached its peak, something unexpected happened. Just as the mother opened her mouth to say more, a figure entered the courtroom. A woman, hurried and breathless, walked straight to the judge. She was holding a folder, and her face was a mix of urgency and fear. The audience fell silent, puzzled by her sudden appearance. The judge, looking startled, motioned for her to speak. "What is it, ma'am?" The woman didn't hesitate. "I'm here to present evidence. I have something that could change everything." She opened the folder and placed a series of photos on the judge's desk, her hands trembling slightly. The courtroom was stunned. The photographs were clear, images of the father with another woman, taken at various locations over the past year. But what made everyone gasp was the final picture. A shot of him with the woman, looking over at a young child in a park. The child wasn't his daughter. It was another girl who looked eerily similar. The mother's eyes widened, and the audience gasped. The father's face went ashen, his hands gripping the armrests as if trying to steady himself. The woman's voice shook as she continued. "This is a child from another relationship. A child he has been hiding from everyone, including his own family." The room was filled with murmurs, but the shock didn't end there. The woman turned to the father, her expression darkening. "You don't know me, but you know my daughter. She's the girl you've been hiding, the one you've been lying about." The father recoiled as if struck. His mouth opened, but no words came out. The room was in chaos now, with whispers spreading like wildfire. How deep did the lies go? Was this another secret he had kept buried for years? The stakes had just been raised higher than anyone could have imagined. And with this new revelation, the courtroom seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the next move. The courtroom had descended into chaos. The photographs lay scattered on the judge's desk, each one telling a story that no one had expected to hear. The father, now trembling, looked as if the weight of the world had just crashed down on him. His eyes darted around the room, searching for an escape, but it was clear. There was no way out. Silence. A long, heavy silence that makes the woman shrink slightly under its weight. The teen feels his pulse slow, his hands relaxing at his sides. For the first time since this all started, he feels something shift, not just in the moment, but in the way people are looking at him. The officers seem uncomfortable now, like they're realizing just how wrong this situation was. Then, just as the woman looks ready to turn and leave, the chief speaks again. "One more thing," she says. Everyone looks at her. The woman freezes. The chief reaches into her pocket, pulling out a small notepad. "We'll be filing a formal report," she says. "Not just about this incident, but about the way bias leads to unnecessary calls like this." She meets the woman's gaze head-on. Because this wasn't just a mistake. It was a lesson. And I want to make sure it doesn't happen again. The woman's face turns red. She looks at the officers, then at the man, then at the teen. But there's nothing left to say. Without another word, she turns and walks away, her shoulders stiff. The officers exchange an uneasy glance, then nod at the chief before heading back to their patrol car. The tension finally begins to ease, but the weight of the moment lingers. The teen turns to his mother, searching for the right words. But before he can speak, the man places a hand on his shoulder. "You still want that internship?" he asks. The teen hesitates, then nods. The man smiles. "Good, because I think we have a lot of work to do." The teen lets out a breath he didn't even realize he was holding. The tension in his chest slowly fades, replaced by something else. Relief, maybe even hope. His mother gives him a small nod, the kind that says, "Asterisk, you handled this well." Asterisk, he knows this isn't the last time he'll face moments like this. But today, at least, he isn't walking away defeated. The man claps him on the back, a reassuring gesture. "First day starts Monday," he says with a smile. "Be ready." The teen nods, finally allowing himself to smile back. As the SUV pulls away, and his mother walks him toward their car, he glances around the neighborhood. Nothing looks different, but something asterisk feels asterisk different. Maybe it's just him. As they drive off, he stares out the window, replaying everything in his mind. Today could have ended differently. But instead, it ended with a lesson and a future still full of possibilities. The woman's face flushes. She shifts her stance, arms crossing over her chest, but she doesn't answer. The silence stretches, heavy and unyielding. The teen swallows hard. He had played out moments like this in his head before, had imagined all the different ways they could end. But now, standing here, feeling the weight of it in real time, he realizes something. This isn't just about today. This is about what could have happened if his mother hadn't shown up. The officers exchange looks, the unease between them growing. One of them sighs, stepping forward slightly. "Chief, is there anything else you'd like us to do here?" His words are measured, careful, almost like he already knows the answer. She doesn't look at him. She doesn't need to. Instead, she keeps her eyes locked on the woman, waiting. For what? An apology? A realization? A moment of accountability? The woman exhales sharply, shaking her head. "I didn't mean," she starts, but the words die in her throat. Because deep down, she knows. Everyone here knows. The teen feels his mother's presence beside him, steady and unwavering. The moment is teetering on the edge of something big. And whatever happens next, it's going to change everything. The woman looks down, her grip tightening on her purse like it's the only thing keeping her steady. The officers are still waiting, but the energy has shifted. This isn't just about a misunderstanding anymore, it's about accountability. And right now, no one is sure if she's ready to face it. Then, just when it seems like the moment couldn't get any more intense,